Okay, so today we are going to be learning about volume. Our learning targets basically, I can find volume of a rectangular prism, or you could even swap it around and say I can find the height from a volume, or I can find the length from a volume. I'm going to start by just explaining what volume is, okay? To me, volume is what is inside something. So I like to show it as a tissue box. The volume is literally the tissues inside it. How much is in there? Not just the front to back, side to side, top to bottom. It is everything in there, okay? Volume can be solids, it can be liquids. It just matters. We are only doing one shape. We're doing rectangular prisms. Notice, rectangular prisms are made of all rectangles, even on the ends, okay? Later, 7th and 8th grade, you will do triangular prisms, and you'll find volume of cylinders, like a Coke can and things like that. But we just do the one, okay? Now, the formula that we're going to use, I realize this sheet has two, but we're going to just be using this one, okay? It is length times width times height. Now, this is the hard part. Which one's which, okay? Starting out, height is usually your easiest because it's how tall you are. Everybody is usually fine with height. Looking at like number 1 and 2 here. Do you all see if this is my height? What is my height on this shape? Down here, letter A.
2 feet.
That 2 feet. 2 feet is my height. What is it on this one? 4, right. It's how tall it is, okay? That's usually the easiest one for me to talk about, okay? Now we got width and length. This, to me, is almost the opposite of what I think it is, I hate to say, okay? Because as a human being, I think of my width as this, meaning how wide I am, okay? I think of width as a car driving into a garage. Does it fit through the garage doors, okay? But if you will notice, it's almost like the opposite in this picture. Your width is how far you are from here to here. I hate to say belly to back, but that's the way I think of it. This is your width. And then your length is kind of across the front, okay? So, when doing this, I kind of look at it this way. I say, okay, if this is my width, and I'm kind of using that example at the top, then my width here would be what? 5. And my width here would be the 5.6. Okay. Then my length, I have to keep going back and forth. Okay. Across the front is 10, and my length on this one is 3.1. Even though it's on the back, it is the same as that front line. Now, a couple other things. You've got to memorize the formula. Length times width times height. Not that hard. Okay, volume. And then the other thing is the L is cursive. It just has to be. It's the way the world does it. It needs to be cursive. Okay? The other thing to kind of talk about is when you get an answer, it is cubed. It is a cubed answer because it is, and I'm going to kind of show it up here, but, whoops, that's not going to work. Okay. Basically, how many cubes fit inside a tissue box? So if they're talking 1 inch cubed, it is literally one of these boxes, just one of them. So it would be how many of these fit inside the tissue box? Cubed means 3D, 3D shape, okay? You can have inches cubed, you can have centimeters cubed. Centimeters cubed are a little bitty, okay? You can have feet cubed. Think about the white tiles on the floor again, but think of it being not only flat, it would be tall and that way, okay? It'd be bigger boxes. Yards cubed. One of the questions is yards cubed. I think of about an arm length, maybe a little longer. Think about a box, though. If it's this long, that tall, and that wide, that's a big old box, isn't it? And so if somebody says 100 of those, think of taking 100 of that size box and stacking packing it inside something. When people usually are talking yards cubed or volume with yards, I think about the back of a dump truck. The back of a dump truck is a volume, like when they fill it up with sand or rock or whatever. And you usually buy it by cubic yards. That means when they dump it in your yard, when that dump truck backs up into your yard or whatever and dumps it, they're talking like, how much is it going to cover? But they sell it usually by how much fills up the truck. Do you want half a truck, a whole truck? And then give you all the fancy numbers for how many cubic yards. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to practice with the formula. Volume equals length times width times height. Okay. And then we're going to change it into some algebra. Okay. I will start out by saying the beginning of this is kind of like 5th grade material. I don't know how else to word that. This beginning part should be something you kind of did last year. And then when we do the next thing is kind of the 6th grade. So here we go, okay? So to find the volume of each rectangular prism, the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure it's a rectangular prism. Okay, let me straighten out all my papers here. Okay, we're going to write the formula every time. Length times width times height. Every time. Because that's proven to your teacher that you know what shape it is. You're going to have other volume formulas later in life. Okay. Now, we're going to fill it in. Volume is my unknown. That is my variable right now. Okay. My length was 10. My width was 5. And my height is 2. Now, notice, because this is algebra, I am sticking parentheses around it. I'm not putting multiplication signs because we don't want little X's flying around, okay? Next thing, I'm only going to do one step at a time. So from left to right, 10 times 5 is 50. We're going to bring down the times 2. 50 times 2 is 100, okay? Now, 100 feet, I'm looking back at my picture, they're all in feet. Bless you, bless you. And it is cubed. It has a 3 at the end. A little 3, that means 100 cubes would fit inside that. That'd be huge, especially feet cubed. Okay. Make sure when you're doing these, we're gonna write the formula every time. Every time. Here we go. Let's do letter B here. Volume equals length times width times height. Okay. Length on this one, 3.1. Width is 5.6. Height is 4. Okay. Once again, you can use, your handy-dandy calculator. Thank goodness we're back on calculator world. Okay, multiplying the first two numbers, I get 17.36. Now I'm going to do times 4. So I got 69.44. I look back up here. It's meters. And I need a cubed, a 3, because it is volume. Okay. And letter C. I know we didn't highlight it yet, but let's look at it. This one's probably the height. Does everybody agree? This is the length, and this is the width. Okay. Once again, it's kind of the opposite of what I think, but now I'm going to write the formula. Whoops, I wrote the wrong letter. Going back to area. Okay. Now, you've got some choices here. If you've got the handy-dandy blue calculator, or the one that I use in class, then I just use the ABC button. Okay, so if you don't, you're going to have to change these to decimals. Okay, now I'm going to show it kind of using this ABC button for kids who've forgotten. I'm just going to show it real quick. 1 1/3. You would type in 1 ABC, 1 ABC 3. So I'm typing the ABC button between it. Times 6 ABC 3, ABC 4 equals. And I get 9. Notice I'm writing that. Now I'm going to do 9 times 1 ABC 1 ABC 3 equals. And we should all get 12 yards cubed. Volume is always cubed because it's a three-dimensional shape or box that fits inside it. Okay? Now, that's kind of the 5th grade standard. Now we're going to work on the 6th grade standard. Okay. But without this, you can't do what we're getting ready to do. Okay. Now we're going to be finding what's called a missing dimension of each prism. A missing side, I guess is what you call it. Okay? Yes? We're getting there. Yeah. So, when you are doing this, when you're finding that missing dimension, like this one's looking for height, that one's looking for length. Okay, they give you the volume. And that's what you got to kind of look around for. Here's the key to this. I realize this year we're only doing one shape. But later you're going to need to make sure you use the right formula too. So you want to write the formula, hint, hint, from the old teacher. Spread it apart a little bit so you can fit it in. Okay? That way we can kind of line it up. Equations, you want to keep them kind of nice and neat. Okay? Now, my volume is over here on this letter A. So, I'm going to fill it in. 1485, or 1,485. Okay, my height is what's missing. So, which one's my length? That 9 is my length. My width is 15. And my height is what's missing. Height is your variable. Going back to algebra world, height is the missing variable, like what we're looking for. Okay, so our goal is that down here I can say h equals something. Okay, so what do you think we do first? 9 times 15. Now, you've got to get those numbers together. That would just be the easiest, which would be 135. Bring down that h. Bring down the 1,485. Okay? Now, we want to get h by itself. 135 up against h means multiply. The opposite is divide. So, we're going to do divided by 135. But what we do on one side, we have to do on the other. Okay, leaves me with a cute h on this side, and equals, and 1,485 divided by 135 equals 11. 11. Now, make sure you look back at your shape. It is 11 what? Inches. Don't make it cubed. This is a height. This is a nice little boring measurement. Volume's cubed, not height. Okay. Try letter B, and then we'll kind of compare answers. Try letter B. Okay, so kind of starting out. I wrote my formula, filled it in. 1.9 was the width and 5.4 was the height. Multiplied to get that. So, to get L all by itself, I need to divide by 10.26. And I got 3.2 centimeters. Okay. You should be able to, if you put 3.2 right there where that L is, and multiply it times 1.9 and multiply that times 5.4, you should come out with that volume. So you can double check your work. You could like triple check your work. Okay? It's not hard. It's just remembering, and filling it in right, copying it right. That's a biggie. It's a biggie. Friday, you've got to know this formula. Volume equals length times width times height for a rectangular prism. Okay, your homework is, the back is your homework, but it's kind of pretty easy. The top is just finding the volume. So you want to write the formula and fill it in and solve it out. Okay. These are those missing dimensions, like the second part of the notes on the front. Okay. And the last two, find the volume. They just put it in words, guys. They give you the length, the width, and the height. They just put it in words. Shouldn't be too hard on that part. Okay. So, tomorrow we're going to check this thing. So make sure you are completing it all the way. Okay. Thank you.